It's 2 a.m. You should be asleep. But instead, you're replaying a conversation from 3 years ago, wondering if you said the wrong thing, wondering what they really meant, wondering if you came across as too much or not enough. And then, just when you think it's over, your brain jumps to tomorrow. What if the meeting goes wrong? What if they don't respond? What if you've already ruined everything and you just don't know it yet? And the most painful part of all of this? You know it's irrational. You know that replaying a conversation from years ago at 2 a.m. is not helping you. But you cannot stop. No matter how many times you tell yourself to just relax, the thoughts keep coming. Like waves you can't outswim. This is the silent war that millions of people fight every single night. And almost no one talks about it. Overthinking isn't a character flaw. It isn't laziness. It isn't weakness. And it is definitely not something you can just snap out of. What overthinking actually is will completely change the way you understand yourself. Because the same mind that keeps you up at night is also the mind that makes you extraordinary. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes, because by the end of this video, you won't just understand why your brain does this. You'll know exactly who you are because of it. And you'll have real, science-backed tools to finally find some quiet. Let's go deeper. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Overthinking is not a thinking problem. It is a fear problem. When your brain perceives uncertainty, even the smallest, most harmless uncertainty, it fires up a region called the amygdala. The amygdala is your brain's ancient alarm system. It was designed hundreds of thousands of years ago to protect early humans from predators, from lions, from danger, from death. When the amygdala fires, your heart races, your muscles tense, your mind locks onto the threat and refuses to let go. Because in the wild, letting go of a threat meant dying. But here's the problem. In the modern world, there are no lions. There are no immediate physical threats. So your amygdala does the only thing it knows how to do. It creates threats out of thoughts. What if they're angry at me? What if I'm not good enough? What if everything falls apart? Dr. Susan Nolan Hoeksema, one of the most respected psychologists at Yale University, spent her entire career studying this pattern. She called it rumination. And her research revealed something both fascinating and heartbreaking. Overthinkers don't actually think more than other people. They think in loops. The same thought. Recycled. Replayed. Repeated. Over and over and over again. Like a browser with 47 tabs open and none of them loading. The brain isn't processing the problem. It's stuck on it. And the more you try to force it to stop, the louder it gets. Now I want to tell you something that nobody ever told you. Something that might genuinely change how you see yourself. The same brain that tortures you at 2 a.m. is also your greatest gift. A study from King's College London found a direct correlation. People who experience high levels of anxiety and overthinking also score significantly higher in verbal intelligence, self-awareness, and the ability to anticipate outcomes before they happen. Let me say that again. The thing that makes your nights so hard is the same thing that makes you brilliant during the day. You notice things others walk right past. You feel the tension in a room before anyone else speaks. You think 3 steps ahead when others are still on step 1. You carry empathy so deep it sometimes feels like a burden. Because it is. When you feel everything more intensely than the people around you, the world becomes both more beautiful and more overwhelming. Your brain is not broken. It is overclocked. It is running at a frequency most people will never reach. The tragedy isn't that you think too much. The tragedy is that no one ever taught you how to direct it. Psychology has identified two dominant patterns of overthinking, and understanding which one you are is the first step to changing it. The first type is the ruminator. The ruminator lives in the past. They replay old conversations, searching for what they should have said. They relive old mistakes, wondering how things could have been different. They carry shame about things that happened years ago, as if they happened this morning. The ruminator's core question is, why did that happen to me? The second type is the worrier. The worrier lives in the future. They catastrophize. They build entire disaster scenarios out of one unanswered text. They imagine failure so vividly it feels like a memory. The worrier's core question is, what if it all goes wrong? Now here's the part that might surprise you. Most chronic overthinkers are not one or the other. They are both. Ruminating about the past, worrying about the future, swinging back and forth between two timelines, while completely missing the only place where life actually exists, right now, this moment, the present. And ironically, the present is the only place where your overthinking has no power at all. This is where I need to be honest with you. Because overthinking doesn't just live in your mind, it lives in your body. When your amygdala stays activated for long periods, your body floods with cortisol. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone. In small doses, it keeps you sharp and focused. But when it's constantly elevated, it begins to destroy you quietly. Chronic overthinking has been linked to severe disruption of sleep cycles. Even when you're exhausted, your brain refuses to power down. A significantly weakened immune system, meaning you get sick more often and recover more slowly. Digestive disorders, chronic headaches, and muscle tension that doctors sometimes struggle to explain. And perhaps most seriously, a dramatically increased risk of developing depression and anxiety disorders. A landmark study published in the journal Psychosomatic Medicine found that people who chronically ruminate have measurably higher levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. Inflammation that is directly linked to heart disease, cognitive decline, and shortened lifespan. Your thoughts are not just thoughts. They are biological events. Every loop your mind runs at 2 a.m. is a chemical reaction happening inside your body. The silent war in your mind is being fought in your cells. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk about what you can actually do. These aren't generic tips. These are strategies rooted in neuroscience and clinical psychology. Strategy 1. The 5-5-5 rule. The next time an anxious thought grips you, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. Will this matter in 5 days? Will this matter in 5 months? Will this matter in 5 years? Most of the time, the answer to all 3 is no. And that simple realization creates just enough distance for your nervous system to exhale. Strategy 2. Scheduled worry time. This one sounds strange, but the research behind it is solid. Choose a specific 15-minute window each day, say 5 p.m. That is your designated worry time. When a worry surfaces outside of that window, you don't fight it. You don't suppress it. You simply say, I'll think about this at 5. Over time, your brain learns that worry has a container, a time and a place, and it slowly stops ambushing you at midnight. Strategy 3. Name it to tame it. Neuroscientist Dr. Dan Siegel at UCLA discovered something remarkable. Simply labeling an emotion, out loud or in writing, reduces amygdala activity almost immediately. Not suppressing it, not analyzing it, just naming it. I notice I am feeling anxious about tomorrow. I notice I am afraid of being rejected. That single act of naming creates a measurable shift in brain activity. You are no longer inside the storm. You become the one watching it from a distance. Strategy 4. The opposite action technique. This comes from dialectical behavior therapy, one of the most evidence-based psychological treatments available. When overthinking pulls you toward isolation, do the opposite. Reach out to someone. When it pulls you toward stillness, do the opposite. Move your body. When it tells you to keep replaying, do the opposite. Write it down once, close the journal, and walk away. The brain follows behavior. When you act differently, the thoughts begin to shift. Strategy 5. The anchor technique. Choose one physical sensation to return to when your mind spirals. The feeling of your feet on the floor, the temperature of the air entering your nose, the weight of your hands in your lap. This isn't meditation. This is neuroscience. Focusing on physical sensation activates the prefrontal cortex, the rational, calm part of your brain, and begins to quiet the amygdala. Your body is always in the present. When you follow it there, your mind has no choice but to follow. The silent war inside your mind is not evidence that you are broken. It is evidence that you feel deeply, that you care about things that matter, that you carry a level of awareness that most people never develop. The overthinkers of the world. They are the writers, the artists, the healers, the builders. They are the ones who sit with a problem long enough to actually solve it. The ones who love people hard enough to be afraid of losing them. The ones who imagine futures vivid enough to actually create them. The goal was never to silence your mind completely. The goal is to stop being its prisoner and to start being its guide. You are not the storm. You never were. You are the sky that holds it. And the sky, no matter how dark the clouds get, is always still there. Waiting. Quiet. Whole. If this video echoed something within you, share it with someone who is lying awake tonight, fighting the same war. They need to hear this. Subscribe to Echo Within Us, because every single week, we go deeper into the psychology of being human. See you in the next one.